10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
Well, hello. What's up, fuckers?
Hey, how's it going?
What's everybody up to?
Oh, just having a big old glass of Liberty.
Liberty?
Liberty, huh?
I like that.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, hey, man. We're only, what, 6 hours away from America Day?
Of course.
Yep.
America. Fuck yeah.
Two shows in a row, Matt. This feels like old times.
Well, I mean, I did this last week, too. I did a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday show last week.
No, I mean me being on.
Oh, you being on.
Yeah, it feels like old times.
Oh, it's all about you.
Of course.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm joking.
Just all about you.
Now, everybody needs to remember to be good patriots and put out for Uncle Sam bourbon, a cigar, and some 45 ammo.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yep, I see how it is. So everybody ready for America Day tomorrow?
I'm hoping it doesn't rain. That would suck if it rains.
I hope it doesn't rain. I got to go to a fucking parade tomorrow. So, kind of hoping it don't rain. That would kind of suck because I have to be in the fucking parade.
In the rain.
So I'm hoping it doesn't. Oh, we'll see. But I think the parade's only a couple. I think I should only be there a couple hours, something like that. We'll see. But it should be interesting. I've been to parades before. I've never been in a parade.
Once you've been in one parade, you've been in 5, but before you know it.
Yeah. I mean, unlike Night Strike, because I know he's been a part of many pride parades over the years.
Right.
So, I do feel that's a little bit different because unlike Night Strike, I won't be riding a bicycle naked through the middle of town.
You don't know real fun.
In a blue dress. So it's a little different than what Night Strike's used to. We're gonna be walking around and doing the July 4th thing and passing out. I'm gonna pass out candy to kids and stuff. And I honestly don't know. I've never, it's something apparently they do every year. And obviously this is my first year here and working for the company I work for, and so the whole thing. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So the did y'all hear the big beautiful bill went through?
Yeah.
It passed, and so of course it's gonna, they're anticipating it will get past Congress, and obviously Trump's gonna sign off on it. It's his fucking bill. So it finally did pass Congress, and now Senate will do their little thing.
And it's still that $0 tax stamp shit. Pisses me off.
Yeah, they dumped all that shit. So.
Well, I know Representative Clive, I think his last name is, tried to get it put back in.
Yeah, but it didn't work. So.
Hey, at least he tried.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not saying anything about him. It's just the Republicans in general, So, fucking.
Yeah, I might be having to vote out Max Miller in the primary.
Problem is, I'm stuck with what I've got. I've got one. The representative for me in Congress here is a Democrat, so he's always going to vote no on this. So I've given up on that point. But the problem is, I'm literally stuck with Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham because if I don't vote for Lindsey Graham, I'm going to get somebody worse, probably another Democrat. And at this point, better to go with the snake that you know than the one you don't.
That's a cop-out, sir. You're just a pussy.
I know.
Vote Night Strike 2028.
There you go.
Wow.
Well, I know they're doing what $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. They got the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on auto loans. They're doing something with what was it? There was something about people at retirement age. They were going to get a tax break of like $6,000 or something. So that went through. Child tax credit went up $200. Okay, $200. All right.
I'm not saying that the bill doesn't do some good things, but
yeah,
they were but as the Democrats do, they were saying of how awful this bill is, but they wouldn't go into specifics.
Yeah, they did the whole SALT thing, which is the state and local tax bill, which caps, higher taxes for state and local taxes. So they did that. I'm trying to remember what else was in there. And there were some general tax cuts that range from like $1,500 up to like, I don't know, maybe 15,000, something like that, depending on how much you make. I know they got money for. I know they got ICE money, so more wall money, more ICE deportation money. They did get some Medicare cuts or Medicaid cuts. I think was it? They didn't cut Medicare, right? It was just Medicaid, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to remember. I need to look this up.
We don't know when the bill goes into effect. Not until after the president signs it, I guess.
I know he did something having to do with clean energy, which was a lot of the stuff Biden pushed through. I know a lot of that stuff's getting revoked. All the shit for like electric cars and a lot of that stuff. So they were dumping a bunch of that stuff. I know there was some kind of banking thing, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Trying to look it up here. Trying to get a list.
Oh, my favorite thing about the Medicaid cuts is people freaking out about it. Because they're like, oh, they're cutting people. I'm like, no, they're basically saying if you can work, you must work. You must,
Okay.
pay back into what you guys fraudulently taken.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a new children's savings program with a potential for a $1,000 deposit from the Treasury. So if you start a children's savings program, they can deposit, I guess, up to $100,000 to get, or $1,000 to get you started, not $100,000. $40 million to establish Trump's long-sought National Garden of American Heroes. Excise tax on university endowments and new taxes on remittances. Let's see. One provision bars for 1-year Medicaid payments to family planning providers that provide abortions, namely Planned Parenthood. So no Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood. Bans the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, which
What the fuck was that?
what?
The Radiation Exposure Act?
Yeah, so basically anybody that got sick from radiation exposure from nuclear testing and development. I forget who it was. One of the congressmen is like real big on that because there's been people that have been hurt in various situations and need help. I don't think it's like a fucking widespread problem, but Billions would go for the Artemis moon mission and the exploration of Mars, while $88 million is earmarked for Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. So in other words, $88 million to investigate all the people that fucking lied during the pandemic. Provision would increase nation's debt limit by $5 trillion to allow continued borrowing to pay already accrued bills. Yay, raise the debt ceiling. Senate overwhelmingly voted against proposal meant to deter states from regulating artificial intelligence. Republican governors across the country asked for the moratorium to be removed, and the Senate voted to do so with a resounding 99-1 vote. So, yay, AI. Another provision was thrown out in the final hours that provided $10 billion annually to rural hospitals for 5 years, $50 billion in total. Let's see. That's all I'm seeing here. So there's a lot of tax cuts, basically, which, I mean, honestly, that's the biggest thing he accomplished in his first term, too, was tax cuts.
Better than nothing.
So.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how those impact me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem. Let's see how that impacts us. See how it impacts the economy.
Yeah. If it does, I mean, who fuck knows at this point?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, I just want them to pass. Wait, which I forget which HR it was, where they would get rid of the federal income tax and replace it with a flat sales tax.
Yeah, but then everything that raises the price on everything by tax.
Yeah, but you're not paying any fucking taxes anywhere else, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, no,
I would have, like, at the end of the
paying taxes if you choose to spend money.
You would still
on
be
stuff.
paying.
Like, if you just want to sit back and save money, you won't pay any taxes. Like, if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to buy anything, I'm cool. I don't need to buy a new car. I don't fucking, need to go buy new clothes. I don't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't pay taxes.
You still have state taxes, so that would you only negate the federal tax.
Well, yeah, the federal tax is the larger that. I mean, it depends on what state you live in, but
yeah.
Like, okay, so Michigan, for instance, since I live here now and I know this, coming from Texas where we had no state tax, but like my federal tax it fluctuates, but let's say 17 to 20% of my income. It depends. State tax is 4.25%. So if you're going to get rid of one, like that's the federal one's definitely the better one to get rid of. Now, it does depend on what state you live in. There are obviously states with much higher state income taxes, but usually the federal is still a larger chunk of your fucking money.
Right.
Yeah, for me, if the federal income tax went away, I'd have $5,000 more a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is almost a house payment.
Almost.
Yeah. Or car payment or whatever.
You'll almost be able to have to buy a house for Farkins.
Oh,
listen, he just got 2 new cat trees.
So, yeah. But that's really the only thing going on today. Like news-wise, it's just a big, beautiful bill.
News-wise, I turned the TV on this morning, and all I heard was Democrats going and trying to filibuster. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's that one guy's name that went on hours? I can't remember his name.
I know. I can't remember his first name. Hakeem something.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
He called the filibuster a racist tool, and he uses the filibuster.
Yep. He's a racist.
That's racist.
He's a racist. So, but, I guess we'll see what happens with all this. I mean, it passed the House. It's going to get signed off on by the Senate because they already did their little preliminary vote before they sent it back to the House. So it'll get signed off on that, or does it already? Or is they already sign on it with? I think. Well, actually, I think how it works is if the way they sent it back to the House, if that doesn't change, which it hasn't,
The House votes
then it
on
doesn't have to go back to the Senate.
It doesn't have to go back to the Senate. It goes straight.
So I guess it just goes straight to Trump at this point.
Yeah, so say if the House succeeded getting the Short Act and the HPA put back in, then it'd have to jump back to Senate. They would have to go tell the parliamentarian, hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it does go straight to Trump now at this point, because the Senate already did their shit, stripped what they wanted to strip, sent it back to Congress. As long as Congress doesn't make any changes, it doesn't have to go back to the Senate. So, and of course, Trump's going to sign it. Like I said, it's his fucking bill. He's going to sign it. So, the biggest thing I think most of us will be affected by, depending on your job, is going to be the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. And again, it depends on your job. I mean, do you get overtime? Do you get tips? That kind of thing.
I mean,
That'll be the biggest.
That's good.
The biggest thing I think most of us will notice. Also depends on how much you make. I mean, because maybe that's outdone by you make a lot of money. Because, like I said, I think it was somewhere between like $12,000 and $15,000 worth of tax cuts for higher income earners. Which, depending on how much you make, is I think it's like over $100,000. So, or maybe it was 150. I can't remember what it was. But even at 150, like taking home $12,000 more of your money that's a significant amount of money every year. I think on the low end, it's like $1,500 more a year in tax cuts. If you're making like fucking, $20,000 a year or some shit.
Right.
Which, I mean, $1,500 is still $1,500.
Right.
So
we'll see what happens, though.
Got super chat out there. Preston Garvey says 5K can buy a lot of ammo and or a few guns. Yes, it can. That's true.
It's true.
So stacking them deep and selling them cheap. But yeah. Dwayne says Michael Madsen died. Did he? I didn't hear that.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Michael Madsen, been in a fucking actor. Virginia Madsen's brother, been in a bunch of stuff, including like Reservoir Dogs and a bunch of other shit.
Okay, now I know why it sounded familiar.
The one I noticed this week, and this will tell you like my priorities. I mean, okay, Michael Madsen died. That, I had no problem with Michael Madsen. He was good and stuff I used to watch. But the one that I heard about that I personally thought was a big deal is Jim Shooter died this week too. Now, does anybody here know who the fuck Jim Shooter is?
Since I'm only 35 years old, I'm going to say no.
Okay. Jim Shooter was the editor-in-chief for Marvel Comics back in the 1980s. And heralded in one of the greatest eras of Marvel Comics for about 12 years in the history of comic books. And then he went off and started Valiant Comics after that, which I fucking loved Valiant Comics. That's the one I knew about this week. But that's because I'm a comic geek, so whatever. I'm sure I'm the only one that even heard about that, much less cared. So, but
yeah, I follow a lot of geeky stuff on social media, and I don't think that popped up on any of them.
Let's see. Hawaii Volcano Squad says, I'm traveling behind enemy lines next month to rescue my dad's gun from Governor Newsom's California DOJ gun confiscation squad. Well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good that you have to do that, but if it's going to happen, it's a good thing you can go and do that.
Yeah.
So.
And then somehow in the Fallout universe, California becomes the post-apocalyptic beacon of hope.
No, because, we all saw that first season. It didn't last very long, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all know the Enclave is the superior and one true American government.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
What are you talking about? Fallout, aren't you?
He's talking about Fallout, yes.
Okay.
In the Fallout universe, yeah, the government was bad, the corporations were bad, pretty much everybody was bad.
Except Liberty Prime.
Of course, he was against communism.
The most that I know about Fallout is from the TV show. You got to remember, I played a little bit of Fallout 3. A little bit, but not much. So I don't know a lot about Fallout.
Night Strike, we have our new mission.
We'll talk about it later when he does the comics and video game thing.
When what?
When you do comics and video games and you talk about toys, that's the time.
Oh, the Geek Chat tomorrow? Yeah. Well, not tomorrow. Sorry, Saturday.
Saturday.
Today's Thursday, right? Yeah, today's Thursday.
That would be the time to talk about it.
On Saturday, we'll do we're going to do the Geek Chat on Saturday. So, and I got my tickets to go see Superman next week.
You excited?
I'm looking forward to that. I hope it's as good as the trailers.
I'm gonna go just so I can see all the places in it that they filmed here in Cleveland.
Well, my thing is okay, I liked and I've said this many times before, and yes, we're getting into geek shit. Chill. This is the Guns and Geeks podcast, but I like Man of Steel a lot. I think it is by far the best Superman movie. I think it's one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. I fucking love Man of Steel. I also really, really like Zack Snyder's version of Justice League. I like the first Wonder Woman a lot. I like the first Aquaman a lot. There's probably about half the movies that came out while Zack Snyder was kind of in charge of DC that I really like, that I enjoyed a lot. And I like Zack Snyder as a director. Like Watchmen is a phenomenal movie. Dawn of the Dead. I like Zack Snyder a lot. That being said, I'm not one of these fuckers that's like, I really hope this movie sucks just because I like Zack Snyder's shit so much. No. I want it to be fucking good because I want good fucking Superman movies or DC movies or comic book movies in general. I want this movie to be good. Right. I can still appreciate all the stuff that I already like and enjoy a new movie if it's done well. But there's a lot of people fucking really pushing. They want this movie to fucking fail because they like Zack Snyder's shit so much that they want this shit to fucking fail. I mean,
I wish we still had Henry Cavill in the role of Superman.
I do too. I would love honestly, I would have loved, and look, trust me, I get why they did it, but I would have loved for James Gunn to have just come in and done a Crisis on Infinite Earths fucking movie, reset everything, keep the things he liked about the Zack Snyder verse, and change the stuff that needed to be changed, and kept fucking Henry Cavill as Superman, but just have Zack Snyder do it. I'd have been fine with that. However, that's not what happened, and I want more fucking comic book movies, and I'm not rooting for it to fucking fail. I want it to be good. Now, it might not be good. It might fucking suck. I have no idea. But I'm not one of these dudes that's they're already fucking, and nobody's seen the fucking movie yet. Well, at least not the public hasn't seen the movie yet. And there's already people being like, this movie's gonna fucking suck, and it's gonna be awful, and fuck James Gunn, because Zack Snyder was awesome. I'm like, okay, fuckers.
I agree with chasing ghosts out there. I want that too.
Stupid shit. All right, Preston Garvey dropped another super chat. Says you got to play Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Like I said, I started to play Fallout 3. I've told this story many times, but I had a year and a half of my life sucked away by Elder Scrolls
Skyrim?
No. Oblivion?
Elder Scrolls Oblivion. It was such I like to this day, it's such a good game, one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. But it took like a year and a half of my life away. And Fallout 3 came out after that, and I bought it and I started playing it, and I don't know how long I played it. And I realized very quickly that I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing again to this game, because same company. It's honestly the same game, different skin. You know what I mean?
Well, not necessarily. It's basically post-apocalyptic.
No, I understand that, but it's the same game. It's the same dynamic, the same world building, quests, side quests, open world, made by the same company. It is essentially the same game with a different skin. Okay? And I knew that it was going to suck my life away, so I intentionally did not play it. Because I was like, I just don't have time for this. I didn't have the time to devote that much effort into another video game. So I started playing it, and then I just dropped it after probably, maybe I played it for a week or something. I don't know. I don't know how many hours I might have invested into it, and it was really good. And I was just like, I can't do this again. I just fucking can't do it again.
So, good thing you probably have not picked up the remaster of Oblivion then.
I so want to. I so fucking want to. Because, I mean, dude, it's been 16, 17 years since I played that game. I mean, I know that I've basically forgotten all the, you know what I mean? Like, I just remember how fun it was, and I remember certain things about the story, but like, I've forgotten 99% of the game and the details of the game, right? So I'm like, it would almost be like playing it all over again for the first time at this point.
That's how it feels. Like, the company that Bethesda employed to do the remaster and retool everything and bring it into Unreal 5 did such a good job that I literally had to stop playing because I was wasting hours after I got home from work just playing it, because it felt...
See, that's what I was...
It felt like you reconnected with an old friend.
Yeah. Which is exactly what happened to me. But I do really want to play that game.
Dude, it's so good. Like,
first time. Now let me ask you this: Does because I played it originally on Xbox 360, does it come when you buy the game, like on Steam or whatever? Does it come with all the additions, like the Shivering Isles and all that?
Yeah, I got it on my Xbox Series X, so it had all the DLC.
Okay, because I mean,
included with it.
Because I had to go buy the Shimmering Isles and all the, extended fucking content that they released. Because they released the game first, and then they released all the, extended shit. Which it was the Shimmering Isles add-on pack, and it was but that's what they called it. But it had a bunch of stuff in it, not just the Shimmering Isles.
And then there was Knights of the Nine.
Yeah, it like had the one I bought was like all of that in one. It was like $35 for that add-on that I picked up like a year or so after I had bought the game and had been playing the game, and then I fucking tacked that on. I just didn't know if I were to buy it on Steam, would it just come with all that now, or is it? Oh
yeah. Because I got it on Game Pass, so because I paid for Game Pass Ultimate, I could just download it on my PC.
You're welcome.
But yes, this is why I am the Anakin Skywalker to your Obi-Wan Night Strike.
It's true.
Well, I really do want to fucking play it.
Well, I'm gonna be the little devil on your shoulder and tell you to do it. Do it.
Show no mercy.
Do it. Like, I even pay the $10 extra to get the extra remastered DLC edition, where it came with 2 new armor sub-quest lines, the art book that shows how you did They did all the work and the remastered soundtrack.
Do it, you must. Yeah.
And now I'm just praying that Bethesda lets the company that did the remaster for Oblivion remaster Fallout and remaster New Vegas. I'll finally be able to die a happy man if that happens.
Haven't done that voice in a while. Wow. Ooh.
That and the best part of New Vegas, Matt, is if in one settlement, if you get 100% liked reputation, you get a new Pip Boy called the Pimp Boy. Yeah, no wait, the Pimp Boy 5000.
Yeah, I know that one.
Oh. Look, somebody has to be the little devil in this situation, and I'm gonna be it.
Shit just ain't right.
One of the guys out there on the chat said they saw Jurassic Park and it kind of sucked.
I have heard the same thing. I've heard that Jurassic Park was not good.
Well, it's probably a good thing I didn't go to see it today, because I have been up since 2 a.m.
Yeah.
forgetting that they gave me the extra day off today.
Yeah, I heard it was not good.
I was
Like, well, okay, here's what I heard. I heard it is just rehashed, repeated, shit that we've seen in every Jurassic Park movie, and there's just nothing new or special about this movie. That's what I heard. And so to me, that says, okay, well, I'll watch it, but I'm going to wait till I can just stream it somewhere. I'm not going to the movies and paying for it. You know what I mean?
Well, if you have Peacock streaming app, it will probably be on there once it's out of the theaters.
So I don't know. We'll see. But oh, we've got a rogue Leo.
Yeah.
Leo, what's up?
Well, just shooting the shit.
Yeah. You know what? I watched the Goonies for the first time ever this week.
Watch what?
I watched the Goonies for the first time ever this week.
The Goonies? You had never
Yes.
seen the Goonies?
Never seen it.
What the
Good
shit?
movie. I don't
I
know.
just never cared to watch it, until now.
I think we might have to revoke his Geeks and Guns card.
Yeah. Well, it's too late now because I watched it, so.
Damn it.
Well, what do we think of it?
I think it would have hit better if I did watch it as a kid.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's totally geared towards fucking kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Corey
Like
Feldman
it's straight
acting.
Yeah,
was-
I mean, like going back and watching it now, it's like straight nostalgia. You know what I mean?
His
Right.
acting was better when he was younger than when he is now.
Yeah.
But hey, on a positive note, on the 17th of this month, we get the next season of Strange New Worlds. And on July 10th, McDonald's is finally bringing back the snack wraps.
Really?
Snack
Yeah.
wraps? I don't know what the snack wraps are. I'm afraid that's something I've never fucking had.
It's basically like a McDonald's burrito, more or less.
With a big old chunk of like a chicken tender in there.
It basically,
You either
I
get
just
it.
have
basically, it's just the flatbread of burrito. It's just some lettuce, some some chicken tenders on
Ranch.
it, and some ranch.
I just had Popeye's version not too long ago. They just came out with one.
Everybody's doing wraps these days, so McDonald's bringing it back.
I had the police show up to my house today. That was nice.
What the
What the fuck?
It's great. Family stuff.
Is this more about that same shit as last time?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
Sorry, man.
Dwayne, yeah, that mass shooting. Actually, I was thinking about just going down there on my bike and seeing what was going on. But
No. You can't just go down there on your bike and see what goes on. Then you start becoming a hard Democrat and start going for as a proponent for all the stupid Democrat shit.
Oh, like Colorado just did?
you don't have to worry about that. He said how many died? It's 4 dead up to now, and like 16 shot or 18 shot. So.
What?
And Leo, I know we don't have to do that because your name isn't David Hogg.
Yeah, there was a gang shooting last night at a album release party, which left 4 dead and like 16 others shot. Downtown Chicago.
Well, yeah.
But that's a typical weekend in Chicago, right?
No.
Well,
this is actually kind of big. No, not all at once. This just happened all at once in one spot.
All at once, all right.
Yeah.
damn.
Right. It was an album album release party was going on at a bar.
Maybe
What is this? Daniel says, "Did you see somebody snuck the word faggot into the BBB?" What? No.
Wait, what?
No. There's no fucking way.
Is it as funny as Rare Breed, going and suing D's Nuts Tactical? And having the lawyers and the government and the judge, say the words D's Nuts over and over and over again.
I'm an adult. Do not laugh.
But you're gonna laugh.
Shot Red said he's looking for an invite.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you didn't get one.
Yeah.
Or it's fuck Shot Red. I don't know. However it works, Are we saying fuck Shot Red? Okay.
Fuck Shot Red. Yeah. There we go. You got sent one.
Oh, and Matt, I did throw in the general chat on the Discord the link to the video that Kentucky Ballistics did shooting that T-Rex skull.
Oh, that's cool. Oh shit! Hold on.
So is anybody getting the high point AR?
No.
I still can't believe that's a thing.
I'm still sad that Anderson's gone.
If I was able to get one, that would be the first thing I'd buy.
Well, wait. Yeah, you said you're in Chicago, so you can't.
Nope.
I just want to know the price point.
They said it's going to be under 500, so.
All right, is this still working?
Yeah.
What about now?
Yes.
You can hear? I sound normal, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Do I sound normal now?
Yes.
About the same, yeah.
About the same, yeah.
What about now?
Same.
Same.
Sound the same. What the shit is... Okay, my shit's getting fucking weird. This seems weird to me.
Must be your mixer.
I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I have no fucking clue. Okay, I gotta fucking... Alright, I was messing with some shit here and then like...
That's not nice, HVS. He says you never sounded normal.
Well, no, okay. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, all the cheaper AR companies have gone under. You know, Delton's going out of business. Anderson's being sold off to Ruger. It's like, what's, you know, the only affordable AR company left then would be PSA, right?
Yeah, and I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. Although, it would not surprise me if a big company tried to come in and buy them, because they are extremely successful right now. And I'm wondering if at some point, but I mean, I gotta believe that.
Yeah, Shot Red.
Like if Smith and Wesson or like it would first of all, I'd take a big company with a lot of money to spend, because PSA's got to be just market value in the gun industry. It's got to be worth a fuck ton of money in the United States, and I don't know who would be willing to spend that much money. You know what I mean?
The only people that would be willing to spend that kind of money to take out PSA or buy PSA would really only be like one of two groups, and one of them would be the anti-gun lobby, just so they can dismantle it, and the other would be like one of the other major companies.
Yeah.
What's
What's that one company that used to? Oh fuck! Sorry, Shot Red.
I was gonna say I
agree next time.
Bring him back.
Oh, and then he dropped out. I'm like, does that one company still own like a bunch of different fucking gun companies? What was the name of that? Fucking that company? Thank you, Daniel. Freedom Group. Do they still own like?
No, Freedom Group got broken up.
Didn't they go? Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember.
Because they owned Remington. And then Remington broke up, and like half of Remington's assets went to like PSA and a couple other companies.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I don't
know that even like a big company like Springfield or Ruger or any of these would have the money to buy PSA. I don't think they would.
No.
It would take like a big conglomerate group like that to fucking buy them.
And you also have to realize that the people that the company that owns PSA is a private company, but they're a partnership. Okay, and the CEO of PSA is also on the board on that company. So I don't see him selling it off anytime soon, because his brother is the vice president of PSA, and I talk to him often. And yeah, they're in it for the long haul.
I was gonna say, tell them to make some interesting guns.
They're working on it.
Nice strike throwing the big names around.
I want to see.
Hey!
I mean, see.
Once PSA releases the 5.7 Rock Compact, I'm gonna have a problem.
I'm supporting local businesses, okay? Because I live in South Carolina.
Definitely.
Triggerfish had a geek question out there. Ironheart sucked, but how'd you like Sacha Baron Cohen's character? So I watched. I know they dropped 3 episodes last week and 3 this week. I watched the first 3 last week reluctantly, and it took a lot to get through them because it's not fucking good at all. It sucks. I did know about Sacha Baron Cohen's character and who he plays. I think everybody fucking knows at this point. So I am curious, but I just don't know if I want to fucking put myself through the misery of 3 more episodes of that fucking show.
Oh, is that bad?
Because it's not good at all. Like I will say there's a couple of good characters in the show that I didn't have a problem with. Like, I like her fucking AI friend. She's a decent character, and I like what's his name? Aaron Aldreich, who plays Obadiah Stane's son. He was a good character.
What show is this?
But Like, so there was a couple good characters. I was like, oh, I like those characters. Like, if those characters were the star of the show, like maybe it'd be a better fucking show. But everybody else in the show fucking sucks. They're just shitty characters, and the story is dumb. And the main character of what's her name? Riri Williams is a awful. She's not just a bad character. She's an awful person. Like she just as a like the way they've written her, she's a bad person. Like she's willing to fucking do bad things because she thinks she's such a genius and nobody sees her genius. And so she has to get money to be able to do the stuff on her own because, you know, nobody else will give her funding for her genius projects. So she willingly fucking teams up with a bunch of bad people that straight up tell her, like, hey, if you join us, we're going to be fucking robbing people and stealing and blackmailing people and all this shit. And she's like, okay. But she just fucking does it because, like, oh, I'm such a fucking genius and I'm better than everybody else. And if nobody believes in my shit and how good I am, I guess I'm just going to have to fucking be a goddamn awful fucking horrible person and a criminal to get the money I want to prove how awesome I am. Like, she's a fucking bad human being. Now, like, Matt, how she's the fucking hero of the show, I don't know.
No, Matt.
Girl,
yeah, I was gonna say, Matt, what you saying right there is really racist.
How the fuck is it racist? Just because she's black? I don't give a fuck. Her, like I said, her friend, who also is a black chick, is a good character. Like the show starts and her friend has been dead for several years, but she writes a fucking AI program that takes on the characteristics of her fucking friend. And that character is good, like, and an entertaining character. And then, like I said, I can't remember his name, but Obadiah Stane's son, which is played by the guy who played fucking young Han Solo, he's also a good character. Like, if the show was just about the two of them, like him and this AI chick, like, that would be an entertaining show. Those are characters that are actually likable. But Riri Williams is just a shitty person. She's just a bad person. And she's the star of the fucking show. And then on top of that, the fucking writing sucks. And the fucking story sucks. And that's crazy. I want to fucking see Mephisto, but I don't know if I want to deal with 3 more episodes of that bullshit just to see fucking Mephisto. So, yeah, I haven't watched the last 3 episodes yet.
I did watch last night. I did watch Thunderbolts for the first time.
Oh, that's such.
No way. I was like, it wasn't that bad, right? There was some male bashing in it, but other than that,
I like that movie
right. It was quite good.
I had a lot of fun with that fucking movie. I was very happy with how that movie turned out. I thought they did a great job. To the point, like, and here's the thing, which I think this is pretty cool. I think it sucks that the movie didn't do well. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make its money back at the movies. I think that sucks, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, like, the last 3 movies that fucking Marvel released have sucked, and so people just assumed it was going to suck too. But I think critically, like, enough people, the people who actually did see it, which wasn't enough people, but the people who did see it liked it a lot, to the point that the director of that movie was given the reins to do the next X-Men movie when they do all the Marvel reset shit. Which I think that's good, because in that movie, I thought the director did a good job of putting together a story that worked really well with a bunch of different fucking, kind of, roguish, off-the-wall characters. I think that would work for a good X-Men movie. So, he got a gig out of it, even though nobody went to fucking see the movie. It's like the reviews of the movie were good, and the people who talked about the movie and rated the movie, like on fucking IMDb and on, all these websites, liked the movie. The problem is just fucking hardly anybody went to go see the fucking movie. So,
I'll blame that on Marvel.
Yeah, it's their fault for making a bunch of shitty movies before that one.
Yeah.
And
Fucking
TV
Captain
shows.
America sucked ass. That last Captain America movie was fucking awful.
That's what I was saying about like the Solo.
Like,
Solo not doing good is because all the shit Disney was doing.
oh
with
yeah,
Star
it was
Wars
because
already.
of the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It was because the Last Jedi was such a fucking slap in the face to fans, and then Solo came out 6 months later, and people were still pissed off about Last Jedi. So
Yep.
that movie fucking tanked. It was not a bad movie. It was not
No,
a
it
perfect movie. It had issues, but in general, it was a good movie. Like, I enjoyed Solo.
Same here.
Yep. But it was not as good as Rogue One.
Well,
No,
nothing is.
no.
Nothing except the only thing that's as good as Rogue One is Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, yes. Ends on such a great low point for the rebellion.
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. As far as Disney, Star Wars stuff, that's the only thing I like was Rogue One. Maybe I could like Andor, but the problem with Andor is, and I saw some interesting stuff on it, it's just, it resorts back to what I already know what's going to happen.
Well, and it's also boring and slow,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
I
can see
I
that.
loved Andor. Me and my wife watched the shit out of Andor.
Andor was good.
It was
I can see
really
people-
fucking
here's the
good.
thing, I can
I
see
liked
people look at
Andor
Andor.
because, like I said, it was called Andor, but the movie was not. I mean, the show was not an Andor movie. What the show was a let's make a show for 2 seasons that shows how the rebellion was born
Right.
and what led to that first movie we saw with A New Hope. Because we've already seen the very end of it about them stealing the plans. That's Rogue One. That was awesome. But how did the fuck? Because I mean, you know, whether it was Senator Mon Mothma or I forget the other guy's name who I'm blanking on, or all these other characters that were the characters that fucking built the rebellion. Andor's just kind of the guy that the audience, like, you're seeing the rebellion being built up through his eyes. But he's not the main character. It's a show about how the rebellion was born, which I thought was great because that's one of the reasons why I loved Star Wars Rebels, because it was the same thing, but you were seeing how the rebellion was born through the eyes of that crew.
Well, here's the thing. They show, because for what I've seen snippets of and people talk reviews on it, there's some interesting concepts and, you know, world building you see there, like, you know, the different areas. And like I saw like the little, was it the future cubicles or the one guy's chasing over Andor and all those little different scenes. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. I can see people like that more compared to like, whatchamacallit, that's getting another season of, what's his name? Obi-Wan. I'm like, really? You want to watch Obi-Wan?
You know what?
Well, the thing
So
is,
tell me what you bought.
my favorite era of Star Wars has always been the rebellion against the Empire. I like it better than the Clone Wars era. I like it better, like that whole, like a fucking group of ragtag rebels coming together and causing problems with this great imperial bureaucracy. I don't know, something in there's
No,
you know,
that's
the
a good era.
the libertarian in me loves that shit. That's always been my favorite era of Star Wars, is when the rebels are fighting against the Empire. And that is what this show is, which is, again, why I love the original trilogy, why I love Rogue One, why I love Star Wars Rebels, and why I liked Shadows of the Empire, that book that came out in the 90s, that was also a comic book. And like that era, or Splinter in the Mind's Eye is another fantastic book. The Han Solo trilogy, you know, that goes through his time as a fucking Imperial officer and him rebelling and fucking taking off and saving Chewie and all that shit. Like, I love that era of Star Wars better than any other era of Star Wars. And Andor gives you fuck tons of that. It's all about that.
A lot of the stuff they got retconned, like for instance, you know, they brought him back. He is an official character again, but I love the Thrawn books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. That's what I'm saying.
The only book that did not get retconned that I'm aware of is Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire is still canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what Mommy told me was
between Empire and Jedi.
now
strong story.
right. Now what Mommy Tomei was talking about is what I did like about Andor, and it was like the inner workings of the Empire. I love watching the politics of the Empire. If I get a whole show about that,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Exactly what you're bringing up, Leo. Because I understand Matt's perspective. Like, oh, why I like Shadows of the Empire? Those eras. I'm like, I love those eras too. The reason why I always like the Old Republic era because it's more like there's a lot of intriguing stuff in the background, a lot of fantasy and stuff you don't know, and plus sometimes you kind of get really fatigued about the whole during the whole Empire, Luke, all that stuff. Because sometimes I kind of want to break away from that. Give me something a little different, like what other Sith Lords.
That's why I like this is because it's not just Luke fucking going off to fight Vader, right? Like this is not the quote unquote titular hero character. Andor is about all the people. There are many fucking characters in Andor, and about how they all fit together to create the rebellion. And then on the opposite side of that, all the characters that were involved in the bureaucracy and politics of the Empire at that same time, and how these two forces work together. Because we already know how it ends, right? Like we know how it ends in Return of the Jedi and blowing up the second Death Star and killing the Emperor, right? Like we know how it ends. But how the fuck did it start? And the way they did it was so fucking good. Like to the point that I am surprised Disney let them make something that good. You know what I mean? Disney has a bad fucking track record.
Oh, but Disney does like one step forward, 5 steps back.
High Republic. Oh no, Acolyte.
Exactly.
Not just that.
And the fact that they allowed something that good and that faithful to the era of the rebellion to be made without fucking it up is amazing to me. But I'm glad they did.
The great thing with Andor is, we saw the inner workings of the Empire, and the great thing is they showed what it's always been in canon. Stormtroopers weren't everywhere, people. It was the regular Imperial Army that was holding down everything.
Yeah, if the Stormtroopers showed up, shit was going down.
Yeah, there were no slouches.
They were like the special fucking, I don't know what you want to call them. They were the quote unquote special forces of the Empire. They were not the average troop on the fucking ground.
Yet they still couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
No, they actually did really good in Andor.
Oh yeah,
they're good in
Andor. When the fucking stormtroopers showed up, fucking lots of people fucking died.
Yeah, I know. I watched it too.
So
see, here's the funny part. I think if you're talking about the average person that barely knows stuff about Star Wars, I think they want to keep doing the same old shit. Like, oh, we got to have this part from this era, or we got to have, smuggler or always Jedi. As much as I like Jedis and Sith and stuff, they never dealt with any of the in-between characters or the characters that go on, like the Rogue Squadron stuff, or maybe like what are the rebels are doing, or maybe we might see a crime boss type thing was going on in the world or something.
I don't know.
That's one of the reasons why Andor is so good. There's not a single Jedi in all of Andor. Like, there's no Jedis. Again, there's no, heroes of the Republic. Like the fact that a huge chunk of the show focuses on Mon Mothma, who we saw for all of 60 seconds in the original trilogy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then she appeared a little bit more in the prequels as a young senator. But like, she was integral to the creation of the fucking rebellion. And she is a huge part of Andor.
She was the leader of the rebellion.
Yeah, she was the leader of the rebellion. But I even to the point that I like that essentially it was almost like during the course of Andor, you almost see 3 different factions of the rebellion that by the end have kind of come together, because there's Mon Mothma, who starts out as a senator who's just trying to politically cause problems for the Empire while funneling money to what's the guy's name? I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, I forget his name.
You know, the main rebel guy. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Anyway, and he's like almost a different faction of the rebellion, where he's like fucking, you know, a cross between like some fucking super spy and some dude who just don't give a fuck and is willing to like sacrifice everything.
Salter.
No, not Saul.
No, I said salt the earth.
Yeah, so yeah. But then at the same time, there's also Saul, right? Like he's the
Who just wants to hurt everything.
Yeah, Saul
who just
Guerrero's
wants
group
to
of
fuck
rebels
up as
is
much
completely
shit as
different.
possible, and he doesn't care. He cares
doesn't care
more.
about the
Thank you, Mammy. Luthen is like a cross between like a spy and a soldier, and he's willing to do shit Mon Mothma won't do, but he has a righteous and good end goal in place for freedom, knowing that he's probably never going to get to see it, and he's willing to sacrifice his life to do it. Then there's Saul Guerrero, who's just like a fucking crazy fucking guerrilla fighter that just wants to fuck up as much shit as possible.
And for some
And you
reason,
see
people
all
keep
these
following
fucking
him.
three factions of the rebellion kind of come together by the end of it.
Well,
So-
yeah, if you remember, even in Rebels, it hints that in the early days before they unified, they were all their own independent cells.
Oh yeah, well yeah, because in Rebels, the
Thousands of
crew of the
rebels.
Ghost was their own little independent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they explain that even in the video games.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just saying it's a really good show. Was it to Leo's point? Was it slow at times? Yes. But I thought the characters were so well done, and the way, like, even when it did get slow, it got slow because they were really delving deep into like imperial politics or the
We're willing to
politics
ignore
of the
that.
fucking rebellion and the different factions of the rebellion. When it slowed down, that I was still really entertained by it. You know what I mean? So anyway,
No, here's the thing with me. I didn't really care about the rebellion. I just wanted to watch the Empire. For some reason.
Well, Leo, I have a fan film for you to look up once we're done in the chat.
Okay.
Look up Imps the Relentless. On Facebook, I'm friends with a few of the guys who are doing that fan film. You will love it.
Yeah.
It takes a while for them to get each episode out, but it is amazing.
I do want to point something out earlier, because I said this, and it is because of what ShotRed said. ShotRed, the old Republic era is different than the Republic era during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Old Republic is Revan.
It is
I
like
know.
it's like Revan, the hyperspace wars, the Sith.
Yeah, the Jedi Civil War, all that stuff. I know.
The Jedi
Trust me,
Civil War.
that's what I said. I'm a big fan of that type of era.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that era too. But that, for anyone listening, that's different than the Republic era of which you have the Clone Wars. Okay.
Yeah, that's the point I was saying. They're like different eras, very different. Is that as much as I like the, when Matt was talking about with the rebels,
I'd like
and the
to
Shadows
see
of the
more
Empire.
of the old Republic era. Less of that High Republic bullshit, and more of them just going and getting the people who do the video game, the old Republic, and just getting them to come up with the story to actually have a live action show for set around those times. Because
Remember, you got
that
good
would be
writers that
better.
can do that too. Even the ones who made it, like Drew Carpenter, is still around. But mind you, Disney do not want to pay these people or work in that type of stuff.
No, they just want to listen to what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy, and make it gay and lame.
And mind you, they're still trying to mess with that era.
Kathleen Kennedy is a cunt. And to answer John Brown Productions questions, by the way, what's up, dude? What times are my shows now? It's at 6:00 my time, 6:00 Eastern. So that's when I'm doing shows. Right now, I'm doing them on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. I'm going to try and expand that into like Mondays and Tuesdays as well. But right now, we're doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let me get this question from Sam of Anarchy. Have you guys seen the new Ballerina movie, the John Wick spinoff yet?
We're talking about
Yeah, we were talking about that last night. I have. It is an okay movie. It's a pretty, it's a fairly middle of the road, kind of revenge action movie. It is It is nowhere
not
near as
John
good as
Wick.
any of the John Wick movies. However, is it an acceptable watch for, like, if you've got a couple hours to kill and you just want to watch, good action? Sure. Don't pay for it. I don't think it's worth paying for it. I'm glad I didn't go see it at the movies and pay for it. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's just like look, if you like, just cool action movies that, you're going to watch once, kill a couple hours at a time, and you're probably never going to watch again, why not go ahead and watch it? It's fine. It's fine. That's what I'll say. But I wouldn't, like, rush out to go see it or anything like that. Although I think it's already streaming anyway, so you don't have to rush out to go see it. I think it's already fucking, well, I don't know. I watched it for fucking free on the website, but anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wrap this one up. We've done hit our hour, so we're going to go ahead and fuck up out of here. Well, you showed up late. That's why.
Well, I didn't know you had a stream, but I was also going to say I got a better chance coming in the later days because technically I'm at work right now, but nothing's going on.
You always at work when you're on the stream.
But
Well,
yeah,
mind you,
we're going to go
we
ahead.
already-
Get the fuck up out of here. We will see you guys mañana. We got the America Day 4th of July chat tomorrow. Same Matt time, same Matt channel, 6 o'clock Eastern time. If you guys want to come back and hang out for that, be sure to do that. And then on Saturday, we'll do the Geek Chat. So even though the last half of this chat turned into a Geek Chat, we'll do it all over again on Saturday. So that is going to be it. We will see you guys later. As always, deuces yo, shall not pee in the fridge and all that good shit. And we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.